Hey, it's Russ from the Infectious Groove Podcast. Today's video is going to focus on a thing that you see a million different opinions on, but these are mine. I've got my 5 tips for collecting records coming right up. Alright, it's Russ from the Infectious Groove Podcast coming to you again from the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center and Speakeasy. Make sure that you visit infectiousgroovepodcast.com in order to subscribe to our show so you can hear not only me but Michelle and Kyle. Every week we have a new episode of the audio podcast for you, so you can go to the website and subscribe on whatever platform you use. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button on this channel and hit the bell for notifications. That way, every Thursday when we have a new vinyl video, you get the notification and you can take a look and leave us your feedback. Now on to today's focus. I'm sure you've seen a lot of other channels do videos on vinyl collecting tips. I've got 5 very general collecting tips, but I think are helpful for people, especially if you're just getting into vinyl or maybe even if you're a veteran. The number 1 tip for collecting vinyl, in my opinion, is collect what you want. If you don't like Fleetwood Mac, you don't have to buy Fleetwood Mac Rumors because everybody else has Fleetwood Mac Rumors. If you don't like Michael Jackson, you don't have to have Thriller in your collection because everybody else has Thriller in your collection. I personally have a total of 2 albums by the Eagles. I have Hell Freezes Over and I have the Eagles Live, the late 70s live album. A lot of people would think that that's sacrilege. Oh my, how do you not have the long run? How do you not at least have their greatest hits? The songs that I like by the Eagles are on those records, so that's the 2 that I have. Same thing for Bob Seger. Being based out of here in Detroit, you would think that you're required to have all these Bob Seger records. I'm not a huge Bob Seger fan, so I've got Stranger in This Town, and I've got his greatest hits package, and I've got 9 Tonight, and that's it. I don't own Live Bullet because I don't like Live Bullet all that much, and that's okay. Now, I am sitting here on a large collection of records, so the tip number 1 might seem a little rich coming from me, but I like a lot of diverse stuff, but I only buy what I like. I don't buy records because you're supposed to buy records. Number 2, and this is really the only thing I'm going to get into where I think that you should spend a little more money on your collection, is whether or not you're going to do outer sleeves is your business, but I cannot stress enough, I think inner sleeves on records absolutely should be replaced. When you buy a copy of nearly any record these days, whether it's an old pressing or a new one, they almost always come inside paper sleeves on the inside or even printed paper sleeves. Incredibly damaging to records. I mean, they'll do the job, they'll cover them from dust, but they lead to scratches, they lead to static buildup, and it's just not something that I can deal with, especially if you're collecting records for the sound quality or even the value of the record. You want to preserve it. So whether or not you're going to use outer sleeves, that's up to you. I personally, it was more of a habit than anything that I got into with doing outer sleeves on my albums. I gotta tell you, you gotta buy some sort of inner sleeves to protect the records. And these are the Mobile Fidelity inner sleeves. They're a little pricey. Sometimes I use these, sometimes I use other ones. With the internet today, what's awesome is you can go on Amazon and find just about any type of inner sleeve, as long as it's not paper, if it's static reducing or rice paper or whatever. It will help protect your records and help them sound better. Number 3, upgrade your audio equipment at your own pace. You do not need to buy a new preamp and a new amp and a new turntable and a new stylus and a new amp and speakers and everything all at once. Every little incremental upgrade you do in your system is going to affect sound quality for the better, and you're going to hear a jump in quality. You also don't need to go to a $300, $400, $500 stylus right off the bat. You don't have to go to a $300, $400, $500 preamp right off the bat, and so on and so on. Start with the equipment that you can afford, then upgrade your preamp or your stylus as you can afford. Your audio experience is going to get enlightened and a little bit better from every little piece that you add to your system. It by no means has to be done all at once. Plus, it can be quite jarring if you upgrade several components all at once to go from the sound that you did have to a completely new sound. So if you upgrade component piece by piece, as you're able to, then you will get incremental sound difference and you'll hear little improvements along the way. My number 4 tip for collecting vinyl and enjoyment of your records: stop trying to convince everybody it sounds better. There's an endless argument. I even did a video about why I listen to vinyl and if my opinion on if vinyl sounds better. My opinion, your opinion, the next guy's opinion on if vinyl sounds better doesn't matter in the end. If you get enjoyment out of vinyl records, that's all that matters. If other people ask you for your opinion on whether you think vinyl sounds better, fantastic. But it's not your job to convince them that vinyl sounds better. It's about your personal enjoyment. So that's more of a life tip than a record collecting tip, but it doesn't matter what someone else thinks about vinyl. You don't need to have that argument. If you enjoy listening to vinyl, great. Enjoy your records by taking all of that time out of your schedule, devoting time to arguing with people on whether vinyl sounds better or not. My 5th and final tip for record collecting is take the time to enjoy your records. Again, might sound rich from a guy sitting in the middle of all of these records, but what you're looking at here is over a decade of record collecting and buying records at my pace and really enjoying the records as I get them. I see on the internet constantly people will post these record hauls that they got where they bought 30 and 40 records at a time. And that's fine for you, but I do wonder how much enjoyment people are getting out of their records, how much time they're taking to listen to them. Now, I understand there's limited versions of pressing, so you may have to buy something sooner than later, and you might not get to listen to it later. But this is not a contest. You don't need to own everything on vinyl instantly, and you don't have to buy a ton of records at once. And it kind of goes back to the buying what you want. You don't have to buy a bunch of records that you think you're supposed to own. Own the records that you like by the artists that you like and really take the time to listen to them. So that's my 5 tips for collecting records, enjoying records, taking care of them. They're very basic, but those are the ones that I find help me out a great deal. What are yours? If you had to tell someone today, if you're going to get into record collecting, here's my top 5 tips. Leave a comment below. Make sure to interact with others. Let them know what you think about their collecting tips. Let me know what you think of my collecting tips. And let's all help each other out.